Alright, welcome back to the channel. Welcome to another episode of The Return to Danger and Violence Extreme. Fireworks. It's the go-home show, guys. For the alternate showcase. Dude, I was gonna fucking call it the Wrestle Rave again. It's because it's both. It's because it's both the alternate, the annual. Fucks with the head.
It's also because the Wrestle Rave was just so good, which you guys should watch if you haven't seen it already.
Yeah, again, for the 5th time. Should watch it.
Yeah, you should just watch it again. You should watch it a bunch of times.
Watch it right now. How was the Wrestle Rave, guys? I thought it was really good.
Yeah, that was pretty good.
Alright, so we're opening our go-home show with Brad's first defense in the new season of the television championship against Toma, who he was very impressed with last week. However, he is very confident that he will still get the victory. We'll see about that. And then the initiative will have their announced on the world-famous Phil Bear Twitter and podcast. The initiative will make their tag team debut. Troy Tornado and Bobby Thomas will go on against Brown Pride. And then in our main event, set up last week after Nelson Callum called Marshall Dillon a beta-cut cowboy pussy boy and really threw him off his game, he will fight him. And will Marshall Dillon be able to recover? I don't know. It's a very, very questionable
existence.
Yes.
That we live in.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
Did anything happen throughout the week?
No.
Other than you watching podcasts and getting very frustrated with them?
No, nothing in universe happened. Oh, I did get assigned my character of Johnny Martin.
Oh my god, yeah, the big thing. Yeah, so we came up with an idea on the last episode to have a role play for Tyler. Since I'm Phil Bear, Tyler will be somebody. And we had Johnny Martin join Dave as a he bought a stake in Dave. He'll be a road agent for us. He owns part of the company. We made him loyal to Dave, so he'll never leave. He was already where is it? Personal info. He was already loyal to Phil Bear. I didn't have to add that. So, yeah, he owns a stake in Dave. He has... I mean, we should have probably put creative control in his contract, even though it wouldn't have mattered. So, yeah, he's loyal to us. And to buy a stake in Dave, he gave an extra $50,000 to the company. Yeah! Or $500,000.
You're all welcome.
I know a couple of you are going to be mad, like, oh, how dare you, 64, give yourself more money because you're losing it. I see this more as like a way to amend us getting glitched during the first season and not getting any ticket sales. So this is like our ticket sales finally coming in 6 months later. So, yeah. So we had him. He's a part of the save now. He is in character as Johnny Martin. Totally.
And if you don't like it, shut up.
Shush.
Yeah, shush.
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 Alright, let me make sure. We are in the Mid-South. Alright. I have to be very conscious of what venues I pick, or else I'll get charged out the ass.
Or in Norman, Oklahoma, because...
Yeah. Alright, so we open the show we cold open with the television title match. 10 minutes and 52. Bradford Peveril does beat Toma. They don't click at all. We completely forgot when booking, but we didn't need the match to steal the show. It wasn't main eventing, so we just ran with it. And yeah, 57. Pretty cool.
Not a lot to say, very mayhemic match. Toma using his strength and kind of athleticism, but eventually, I imagine he's doing like some kind of charging maneuver, and then just that hits right into the dream left hook, because I like the dream left hook, and I like people charging into moves because I think that looks cool. Regardless, though, Bradford Peveril was successful retain of his Dave television title.
Yeah, this was a very even match, like 50-50. And Toma really did give Brad a run for his money tonight, but could not follow through. Bradford retains, and after the match, despite having a genuinely 50-50 match, Bradford tries to push it down, just like, is that all you got? Is that anyone back here, Scott? Nobody wants to give me a challenge. Nobody wants to give me an actual run for my money. My money ran. I didn't run with it in that match. I totally had that under control the whole time. That was planned and orchestrated. Nobody can beat me. Nobody can touch me. And then a music plays that we haven't heard in quite a bit of time. Not quite a bit. It's been about 2 months. Ladies and gentlemen, for the first time since his match against Ernest Youngman at Soul Survivor, right? Soul Survivor, I think?
Yes.
Soul Survivor. Bust-a-Cap makes an appearance here on Danger Zone TV. He looks Bradford dead in the eyes and just tells him real recognizes real before headbutting him, laying him down the ground, picking up his title, holding it over him. And yeah, that's the segment. Bust-a-Cap shows up, lays out the champ, asserts his dominance like a real Bust-a-Cap can, and gets a 69.
It's a huge moment. I think, you have to ask yourself who can beat Bradford. There's not a lot of people he's fought so far. But now that Bust-a-Cap's here, I mean, the dude, out of our own little lore, he's literally a champion right now. Mm-hmm. On the West Coast and on the East Coast now, I think he is very capable of being a guy to hold 2 titles at once.
Yeah, especially
a TV title, but
especially after losing to Ernest Youngman, that's gotta fucking make you twice as hardened,
Absolutely. I think we could be looking at a new champion. Speaking of Ernest, after last week's match that involved Angel Mercy and Tribal Warrior, he's outside. He sees the camera, and he looks and he tells Angel, I've always told you that I could do anything better than you, 10 times better than you. But you know what? There's one thing you didn't do. You didn't destroy Tribal Warrior. You didn't end Tribal Warrior. I've ended people. I put people in the hospital. And you know what I'm going to do? At the alternate showcase, I talked to Phil, and for a little extra coin, I'm going to end Tribal Warrior. I'm going to end his career. I'm going to end his life. And you're going to see how a real hitman gets the job done. He walks away. And clearly, the scariest thing in the world is an angry Ernest Youngman who's not getting paid that much extra money. Mm-hmm. So if I was Tribal Warrior, I'd pack my bags now and, tell the family I love them. Yeah,
because I feel like it's canon that he's while he is a contracted wrestler, Pablo was paying him a pretty penny on the side, So obviously we've all had those moments at work, like I don't want to fucking be here, but I'm being paid. Ernest wants to be here and is getting paid a lot less than usual, so that is not looking good for Tribal Warrior.
Absolutely not. And then we have the Initiative versus Crown Pride. Not a lot to say, Troy Tornado basically does most of the work and then throws in Bobby whenever he doesn't really want to do a lot. Or he basically gives Brown Pride some free extra time by beating up on poor old Bobby, or as Robert, as he likes to call him. And eventually Troy's like, this has been fun, but, we got to end this. And he hits the Star Maker on a MexiCain for the pinfall victory ahead of their huge match that they got coming up at the pay-per-view against Akima Brave and Chris Caulfield.
Speaking of those two, what are they doing?
Well, Akima's walking up because he's pissed because Troy Tornado basically made him look like an idiot. And Troy's plan was to get him to not join this match. And he's definitely upset, but he more kind of wants to kill the two of them. So seeing that, Troy's like, I believe I've made a mistake, and he kind of just pushes Robert a little bit, and Akima just clotheslines him. Like, it's like clotheslines from hell, like shoulder tackle type beat, like Bobby's soul. Like, he literally turns it into Robert. He hits him that bad. And Chris Caulfield manages to sneak up behind Troy, because Troy's like, no, that's over. I'm going to head back to the locker room. Chris starts brawling with him. They start going at it. They absolutely despise each other. But the thing about it is, while they're fighting, Akima, once he hits Bobby, he kind of does a little more damage because he hates Bobby, but he never really, he just kind of looks over at Chris and Tornado. Chris seems to get the upper hand, but he never really steps in himself. He's not, doing a lot of initiating. He's not initiating on the initiative, if you will. So that's clearly something that's going to be
lyrical miracle.
Eat it. That type beat.
69 type beat.
Yeah, the funny
55
number.
type beat.
We have a sorry, I just saw the gimmick. So Huda S comes out. He thinks he's a party. He goes, "Arr," and the crowd just goes, "No," and so that kind of ruins it. But he says, "I'm Huda S. I'm here." Wow, we won't be able to wrestle in comedy bouts.
I mean, I put it as a badass because he's the hardcore pirate, so that's pretty badass, sort of.
Yeah, he's bad at being ass, but he comes out and he's like, I'm here to ask, I have a long litany. I've been a champion in multiple places, 4C, COT, CZC Dub. I believe he's been in IPW. He's been in.
I think he's in CZC Dub right now.
I believe he's in both actually right now.
He's in a lot of places.
He's in a lot of places, and now he's in Dave. He's on a TV audience countrywide, and he's going to show everybody what he's done. Or what he's ready to do. And what he's ready to do is get interrupted by Knuckles, who comes out. And he's like, I don't mean this as any hard feelings, dude. Well, let me be honest. I really haven't watched a lot of your stuff. But if there's one thing I know, is that I have a lot to make up for. And at the alternate showcase, I start my path of redemption. And after I'm done with you, you're going to need one too. And he offers a handshake, and he was like, why would I shake your hand after you tell me you're going to, ruin my debut match? What the hell's wrong with you?
Fuck you, man.
But so there's a lot
I'm going to make you walk the plank, and the crowd audibly groans.
Ooh. Maybe
his gimmick being awful was the best thing that could have happened to us.
Yeah, exactly. He says, at the alternate showcase, you're not going to be redeemed. You're going to be sent to Davy Jones' lock, and a tomato hits the side of his face. It's Rotten Tomato, too, so.
He only got, a 35% critic rating.
So many puns, so many layers. It's like an onion. I don't know why the onion was too far, but... I had a soundboard.
I was mad that it took me too long to get it. It took me more than 1 second, which is upsetting.
Exactly.
Flex and Pex, sex.
They're not having sex. Don't worry, folks. But
in the
Seavers,
all the Omos memes were just as sex as Flex Garcia.
Yeah,
just Flex.
That's the audience. Just sex. Just a picture of them. It's just sex. But they're in the trainer's room, or in their private room. That's way nicer than anything else in Dave. Even the camera quality gets better, I imagine. And Pex, you could see it's like a slight bruise on his pectoral. He'll poke it, he goes, ah! And Flex a little second later goes, ah! Because they have their spiritual connection. And Pex says, see, we're bonded by the gym. We're bonded by our pecs, by our muscles. We're bonded by our love for one another as a tag team. And Frankie Perez, we should not be wrestling. We are in no condition to wrestle. We know we could take him out. We wanted maybe a handicap match. That would have been fair. Right, Flex? And Flex is like, yeah, it would have been fair. We both grab him. We both become champion. We're co-founders of the championship. And then we just leave the company because, we need to take some time off for this, pretty horrid injury. But he's like, no, but of course, Phil is making sure he's oppressing all the gym bros of the world. He's oppressing our pecs. He's oppressing our flex. So if that's how it's got to be, Frankie, that's how it's got to be. And we're going to take your title, and we're going to ruin your little dream run at the alternate showcase. And then one more time, he punches it, and Flex goes,
If Pex tries to flex, and he, so they both, simultaneously flex, and Pex,
and they
stops.
Simultaneously, ooh.
No, Pex stops early, and then it takes Flex a second to realize. He's like, oh, ow, ooh.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Timing.
All right, yeah. Speaking of timing, their timing is really off this time, it seems like. It's really off their game. However, another 69. It's just a land of 69s here at the 64 channel. Main event.
Funny number.
Marshall Dillon takes on Nelson Callum. Story of the match is pretty much that both men have a guy in their corner. Marshall's got Tennessee. Ash has got in Nelson's corner. Saved it. And so it's a really even match for most of the time. Marshall Dillon is still a huge man. So Nelson's kind of in the backseat for a lot of it. as Tennessee keeps getting involved, and then Ash is part of that honor system or whatever that we have in Dave, where it's just the baby faces don't get involved. And eventually Ash has had enough, takes out Tennessee William. Marshall Dillon gets a little distracted. Nelson starts to get the upper hand, and it really looks like Nelson's going to win. And then eventually we all kind of forget that, wait a minute, it's not a 2 versus 2, it's a 3 versus 2. Warren Outlaw comes running out from the back, gets interference right in the ring. Ash isn't there to stop him. He's scuffling with Tennessee. They're probably in the crowd by now. So they're able to have a completely bullshit victory, and Marshall Dillon wins in 13:54 with the crackdown.
He certainly cracked down on that interference.
I just realized something. I don't think... Okay. For some reason, I forgot if we edit it so that it would not penalize us. And I'm like, oh shit, these matches seem kind of short. So we then end the show with a heel beatdown angle where Marshall Dillon and Warren Outlaw get lassos and do a public hanging, pretty much. Not a hanging, but they do choke them out. Marshall's got Nelson, Warren's got Ash. They wrap it around their necks. They do a choke down, while Tennessee grabs a microphone and just kind of berates them like, you two got nothing on us. We're a well-oiled machine. You can't stop us. There's no one in your corner. We got a guy in our corner. Absolute goobers right in front of us. Typical hardcore nerds. See, we run on the respect for wrestling. You run on the respect for weapons. You're nothing like us, and you'll never hold these, as Tennessee holds both of them himself because he's that self-centered. So yeah, back to that whole anti-hardcore gimmick that we have going for Tennessee William, and the show gets a 74 for some reason. Don't know how that happened.
There are a lot of good. I mean, the main event actually did very good. What I was considering it to do.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, Flex and Pex, what the routine really did.
Dude, they saved the show pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, again, I like my go-home shows to be kind of quiet so we can build up to the main show, but I think we also built up to everything pretty well, A lot of things happened, Busted Cap returned. I think he's going to win the title. I'm just going to say that out loud. Hugh's going to, that's going to be an interesting match with him and Knuckles, all that considered. We just have some really good build-up on this next pay-per-view in the alternate showcase. I think it's going to be pretty intense.
I can't wait for the USPW drones to make TikToks about how Johnny Martin actually saved Dave, and Dave was never good until he joined the company. So,
yeah.
what TikToks do you think USPW stands make in this universe?
They're all like 5, so they'd be like those weird, it'd be like matches with like it's like the mobile games under them. So you pay attention. It's all like 2. It'd be like the South Park shit. It's like Nikki Champion versus Rich Money with like that money game where you get like you keep shooting dollar signs.
No, I feel like they'd be like, why is Crusher Karloff not main eventing Independence Day Slam?
Again, in my eyes, their audience is legitimately all 5-year-olds. So it'd be like, why is Crusher Karloff not in the main event of this show? Honestly, I just think that he had a bad rep when he had a debut against Bray Wyatt.
Dude, there's got to be like a couple of people that have not been watching us for a while and don't understand any of our hatred for USPW, and they're just like, what the fuck are these two talking about?
If you don't even know the C-verse, it's even more confusing. But,
yeah, that's right. Oh my god.
We're just we're annoying cunts, that's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know, and I hope you're excited for some annoying cunts to do their first pay-per-view in season 2. I'll do a quick rundown of the card while we're here. This isn't the official order, but it might be. So, we're gonna have the New York Streak fight, Doug Peak versus Shady K. Were we gonna have this open the show, or?
We haven't decided the order of things, I believe, but that could be a good opener to the show.
We'll have Hugh Day Asks debut match against Knuckles, Ernest Youngman versus Tribal Warrior, King Boone versus Raphael, the Philly Blondes take on the Dallas Stars for the Dave Lords of the Ring Championships. The Initiative take up the team of Chris Caulfield and Akima Brave, and in the main event, a 3-way match Flex Garcia versus Pex Jimenez versus Frankie Perez for the Dave World Championship.
Stacked show.
Stacked show. We're talking like stacks and 2 dimes, you know? Nothing.
Yeah, just 2 dimes. I mean, you
2
could have a
dimes.
third one, but, bust a capstone on the show.
10 cents. I think that's a good outro. Yeah. I think that really captivate the audience.